Hey, welcome back to our Spelunky Let's Play, picking up in this run that we just cut from moments ago. And I gotta tell you, it is, I said it before, I'm gonna say it again, it's bloody cold out. Furnace kicked on literally as I hit the record button. Kind of freaked me out a bit. Again, it's pretty close by, I can hear every time it kicks on. Hopefully you can't hear it, but I can hear it. I know it's cold. I did a temperature check in between videos here, and it's only about minus 20 below Celsius and below 0 Celsius. And it's not that cold, really, but I don't know. It feels cold. You know, like how they say a dry heat versus the humid heat is different, and the same has got to be true for cold, right? Like, I know you can sense a damp cold because it kind of gets right down to your bones. You know, it cuts through all your skin, all your fat, every muscle tissue you got going on. It just cuts right down to the bone, and it stays with you for a long time. And I think that's the kind of cold we're dealing with here today, because it is not nice. But on the thermometer, it's really not that bad. Over Christmas, we were easily, you know, sub 30 below, easy. Over Christmas we had a couple pretty brutal weeks there, but I thought most of that was behind us. We had a nice little thaw. That was fun. I hit myself on the head with a key, just like in real life. Yeah, our typical, and that's typical for around here. We have kind of a January thaw, which we kind of just got through, and now we're back to brutal temperatures. Feels like I'm coming to you from the North Pole here. Spelunky at the North Pole. What a time to be alive. I had that sort of bone chilling cold the other day when it was, again, we had a bit of a thaw, and we took advantage of that. I took the kid out back, one of the kids out back, and did some snowshoeing. And again, small town Canada, so we just basically went out our backyard into there's nothing out there. There's bush and trails and trees as far as you can see. And so I intended to go for 20 minutes or so, get some exercise, enjoy the relative warmth, run away from some ghosts if need be. But I ended up, every time I gave her an option of which direction to go, she picked the longest one. So we ended up making this long, convoluted kind of circle around town. By the time we got back home, she seemed all right. I mean, tired, but I was chilled to the bone, and I could not shake that chill. I thought, I'll have a nice cup of tea or something, like an old person. I don't know, but just nothing would fix that sense of your core temperature has dropped and you've kind of got the chills. I mean, I was underdressed. I had just done the driveway, and I'd been outside much longer than my daughter had. But yeah, you get that little bit. When we crossed the lake, the wind was coming across, and she was cold. I'm telling you. There's a shotgun in the ground. What is that? Can I blow that? I've only got one bomb. And that's a crown. Do I want the crown? I think I want the crown. Right? Can I push this? I'm just gonna... I don't know if that's gonna work. Yeah. Oh, it's just gold. Boo. Boo earns. If I had known that. Oh, free climbing gloves. Look at all this stuff. Mysteries abound. I'm happy. I'm excited. This is good stuff. Oh, get fucked. Are you kidding me? I got no bombs to blow up for the black... Oh. Well, that's one of the mysteries. We wanted mystery. Wanted to unlock mysteries. Oh, I got something out of that. Did I get gold for that? That turned out not too bad. Ran out of bombs. Missed the damsel. Missed the shotgun. All in all, not too bad, though. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, temperature, yeah. Yeah, it's only 20 below. That's surprising. I thought for sure it would be colder, but again, I think it's that damp sort of cold. Maybe I don't really know how weather works. Honestly, I don't understand. Maybe because we just had that warm weather and we got kind of a little bit more moist, or maybe there's more moist air coming in, so it's mixing with the flat out cold and it's making that real bone chilling. What is your deal? You're selling me a damsel kiss? It's prostitution. How is this allowed? How is this legal? I can just keep buying kisses. Oh, I'll be back. I only need 100 gold. I'll be back, lady. I want what you got. That was way more sinister than I meant it to sound. I have the utmost respect for women. I am not a Hollywood producer. I am not in any way, shape, or form a threat or have power. Oh, sorry if that was rough in the mic. Over women, and I do not abuse that power. But I'll be back. If I could, I would be back. Maybe I can. I'll pop a rope. No, I'm gonna bounce. If I could be back, I would be back, lady, but I can't, so I'm out of here. Maybe I want a boomerang? I want a boomerang. Now I'm out of here. I mentioned before, a long time ago in a video, I think, I have used, and actually still quite frequently, use a boomerang. It's a great sort of unknown little pastime, you know, that I hesitate. It's not a sport, really, although I'm sure you could... I'm sure you could get a... Oh, yeah, what a game. I'm sure you could find a way of creating a sport of some sort out of boomerang throwing or tossing or whatever you want to call it. It's a pretty neat little skill, you know. It's tough. It does work, but I mean, the boomerangs do come back as advertised. It's not a myth, and it's pretty fun to try to. You gotta throw it. There's a technique there. There's a knowledge of the right angle and the right spin and the right amount of force to put behind a toss or a throw. But you don't have to be perfect by any means. There are beginner boomerangs, I guess, that are much easier. Mine that I've used, I've had two in my life. One as a kid was a very traditional looking, you know, curved boomerang that I only ever had come back once. And as a kid, my dad would do a lot of the throwing, and when I was a kid, my dad would do a lot of the throwing, and he only once almost caught it. He brought his hands together. They said you're supposed to catch it in like a clapping motion. And he brought his hands together just a second too late, and then the boomerang had passed right in between his hands. He clapped down and there was nothing there. But that was the closest he ever got. I, as a kid, made the boomerang return once. It was pretty demoralizing. All the times I would throw that boomerang out on the lake when it was frozen in the wintertime, and only had it come back once. But when I got a little older in my teenage years. Actually, interesting story, as interesting as my stories get. That boomerang, the second one that I bought in my teenage years, was the first thing that I ever bought online. And this was in the days long before PayPal and any kind of online outlet. There was no Amazon. These were probably using dial-up, honestly, at the time. And I found a website that sold boomerangs. This guy was running this website and making and selling boomerangs out of his garage, basically, kind of thing. Kind of just a hobbyist with a commercial aspect. And I just literally had to get a money order from the bank, which is like a hard version of PayPal or an email transfer, and sent him the money order for the boomerang, and then he sent me the boomerang, and there was no worry about being ripped off. I never had any concerns. It was only about, I don't know, 20 some bucks Canadian back then, so it was a fair amount of money, I guess. But I mean, it's not like he was going to steal my life savings or anything. I ran away with my life savings. And he sent me the boomerang, and on the back of it, he signed it, put a little message and a date, so I still have the date on it. And oh, what is this? This is just cruel. Unreal. Now, if I do this, is the shopkeeper gonna get mad? Nope, that's nice. Good for you. You learned a little bit of temperament control. But yeah, anyway, so he signed it, he dated it, put a little message, I think, or did he have a message, or like a good luck or thanks or something, anyway, on the back of the boomerang. And I got it, like 6 to 8, please allow 6 to 8 weeks delivery. It came, and that boomerang was not at all a traditional. I got it. I chose that particular one because it was advertised to me as a beginner boomerang. That's why I chose to purchase it. That's why I chose to send the guy the money, and it functioned exactly as advertised. It was great. It makes very short little circles. It has a very short flight path, relatively speaking. Like the old one that I had, the very traditional looking one, I mean, you had to huck that thing hard, and it made a huge path. It was impressive to look at. If you could get the angle right, the rotation right, enough force, you could bring all those variables together. It made an impressive looking flight path. I still would like to try it more. I still have it, of course, and I'd like to try it some more. Finding the space for it can be tough. Pretty much have to do it in winter, and it gets cold like it is now. But yeah, it's pretty neat when you get it right. But there's the new one, my second one. It's in the shape of a cross. You have to unscrew a middle nut and bolt, open it up. I mean, you could leave it open if you wanted, but it is changeable. You store it when you're done. You'll loosen it up again and store it with the two cross pieces over top of each other, so it just looks like one stick basically. Then when you go to use it, you loosen it, open it up, and put it into like a cross formation or an X. If you held it on an angle, it looks like an X. And you throw it, and it makes, like I said, a short path, very short, tight circle, and it's easy to catch. I catch that thing all the time. It's probably like a easily 80% if I'm practiced. If I haven't, if it hasn't been more than a month since the last time I threw it, not even a month, 6 months, then chances are I'm going to catch that boomerang, and it's pretty neat. And we were out one day skating on the lake, and we cleared off a section of the snow, and we were skating around. I took out the boomerang, and I was playing catch with myself on my skates with the boomerang, and it's pretty neat. It's a neat little pastime. I've looked, and now, of course, this day and age, at the time when I first ordered my first boomerang, there was really nowhere. Like I said, Amazon didn't exist. Where do you get anything from, right? And this little backyard hobbyist happened to have what I was looking for. Now, you can find, how did that happen? Boomerangs everywhere, and I've picked out a bunch of boomerangs I want to get for the kids, and a new one for myself and stuff. And yeah, I'll do that this year. It's not a huge, and they are surprisingly affordable, right? I'm buying like 4 of them, but so it adds up. But each individual boomerang is pretty affordable. I think you can get them in the $20 to $30 range. They're not at all outrageous considering what you'll spend on other things like sport related things, hockey equipment, or even just a ball glove, your baseball glove. You're looking at a fair bit of money for something that's just a hobby, right? Like, it's not. I always laugh at these people who are like, oh my god, I gotta put a new shingles on my roof, and I'm like, it's gonna cost me like a lot of money. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's the thing that keeps your family dry and warm. That's not. How much did you spend on beer? How much do you spend on any other toy for yourself or whatever, right? But for some reason, oh my god, I gotta get a new furnace. Yeah, it's 30 below out. You need that furnace to keep your family warm. Well, what's your problem? It's not that big an ask, really. But I don't know. Some people can be funny sometimes, I guess. Their priorities. I don't know if it's a more recent phenomenon or if that's been common throughout over the year. Do I already have climbing gloves? Or did I die? I don't know. I don't know if it's a recent phenomenon, but I feel like people just are focused on the wrong things. And I don't mean recent like in my lifetime, like something that I've just noticed because I've gotten older. I mean, that's possible, but I think this has been, I'm talking like the last 50 years, right? People, since the 50s, I think people have started gradually, you gotta be kidding me, gradually focusing on the wrong things in life. And I see it now a lot. And maybe, you know, more modern technology has made it even more pronounced, but yeah, like what you want to spend your money on, time and attention. Attention and time are two of the most valuable resources we have, and people just squander it. They squander it like it's nobody's business but their own, which it technically isn't anybody's business but their own. But I just laugh when they talk about how much time, how much there is to do, and I don't have time for this and I don't have time for that, and they just squander their time on other things that don't matter at all. Why are you giving time to other people's thoughts and what they have to say online? Doesn't matter. And you don't think of it as taking your time, but just reading things and allowing those people's thoughts and ideas to enter your brain, and then take even a small amount of time and brain power to process. That's all something you're giving up for free. That's time and attention. It may not seem like it, but it is, that you're just giving up for free. You're giving it to them. Just like watching this video. You're giving me, well, then again, there's nobody here, which is good. Fine, it doesn't bother me. That bothers me. Walking into a skeleton, I kind of knew in my head it's probably going to be a live one. But I mean, there is a difference between watching a video of a media that you like. Like what I've noticed for myself anyway, and I know this is common for a lot of people, is that YouTube and online media that I watch now has just taken the place of old media. I used to watch, and again, I mean, I'm not going to try to justify how I spent my time, right? I'm not trying to judge anyone for spending their time, but just if you actually feel like you're running out of time in the day or your life or whatever, look at how you're spending it. And if you find that you're browsing Twitter or Reddit and giving, you know, other things, even just reading a short comment that infuriates you over Trump or some political or philosophical thing, that takes time, that takes focus, that takes energy out of your day. And you do that over and over and over with every roll of the mouse wheel. It adds up quickly. And as opposed to something like videos that I guess if you've replaced traditional media with scrolling comments, with browsing Twitter or Reddit and scrolling through those comments, it's just as valid, I guess, as an option for something to do. Whereas I prefer to, my vice is YouTube and Reddit to a large extent. But that worked. I call that a success. I've given up formally. There goes the furnace again. It must be friggin' cold. I've given up, you know, formal media time to the new media time, and that's how my life has changed. But I don't. I mean, I find that I'm out of time a lot in the day, and I probably could do with squandering less time on YouTube. But for the most part, I've just, you know, supplanted, you know, new media has supplanted old media for me. That's all. I don't spend any extra time. I haven't lost any extra time. I've just changed the time that I was already losing since I first learned how to turn on the TV. The time to pass the time that I've already been losing, and I've just changed where I'm now losing it. I don't watch television. If I watch a couple hours of TV a week, I mean that would be a lot. My daily what have I done here? My daily media consumption is just switched over to YouTube and to other online sources, and that's how I've changed. But I find myself doing it too, where it's like, oh, I'm so this, I'm so that, and yet, I'm browsing through Twitter or Reddit or whatever your choice is. Those are just mine. I know I'm old, so I might be out of touch with a lot of people, but those are my go-to online social media vices. Whatever yours may be, just consider how much time you're giving things that might be taking away from your life. Oh my God, a spider or a friggin' there. That was a lot of whips. I just smacked her in the face. I'm playing poorly. My commentary's gone poor, all because I am trying to parse these complex thoughts that I'm having. And I'm not criticizing the consumption of online media or even the online comment trolling, as I do it myself, and I am now creating it myself. But it's about balance, right? I mean, and people have always had to balance. That's nothing new. It's just about balancing and prioritizing. And as I try to reel back, I still do think that the way people prioritize has changed. People have gotten worse at it on how they prioritize their time and whatnot. I started off by blaming social media and new media. And that's not necessarily the case. That's not what I believe necessarily. I think maybe it has added to the difficulty that people have in choosing how to strike that balance and those balances. Maybe we're not prepared for it. Maybe we need to teach each other that stuff a little better. Just like we need to teach each other a little better how to plan financially for ourselves in the future. Maybe we also need to do a better job of teaching each other how to plan on spending our time and how we plan on devoting and divvying up our time and attention. Because out of everything that I've said in this video, I think nothing is more true, more accurate than my first statement, which is that time and attention are probably two of our most valuable personal resources. And with that in mind, there's nothing special going on in this run. I'm going to end this run. I'm going to end the video. I'm going to end the session. I'm going to end my babbling. Time and attention, they are important. Try to balance it. Until next time, thanks very much. See you soon.